and welcome to Whale FM, a platform for connecting with the newest happenings in the metaverse and the NFT ecosystem today. I'm Rudem00se, here with some very special guests to discuss their journey through the viral video media spotlight and the path that led them into the NFT or non-fungible scene. I'm very excited to introduce our guests for this Whale FM episode. Projected into fame by the 2007 video, Charlie Bit My Finger. We've got the stars of that video, Harry and Charlie here, along with Howard, and also Matthew, who's helping bring them to the blockchain. So this is very exciting. Welcome. Thank you all for being here today. How are you?
Hello. We're very good. Thank you. Yeah, glad to be here.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. I will say that the video, that was mentioned, the Charlie Bit My Finger, was something that was very prominent in my early college days. It's something that, as mentioned, it was a viral video, and this is the thing that, during stressful times, we were like, let's just watch the video one more time. So thank you all. You've made a surprising impact on my life, and it's really an honor to have you here today. And so I guess with that background, I'm interested to hear, and we'll definitely take a peek at the video as we go along today, but can you tell us a little bit more about that journey? Like, having small children is always an adventure, but what was the thought process with getting it recorded and uploaded, and did you expect it to take off in the same manner?
Yes, it's a very common question, and everybody's always interested to know that. And actually, the answer is very simple. I'd always planned to record the children as they were growing up. I bought a video camera and started recording Harry when he was very small, just doing very simple things like playing on a mat and moving slightly. As a parent, it's delightful stuff. As somebody else, not necessarily so much. But as they grew up, I then, got the camera out at different times. And this particular day, they'd been playing in the garden. We came in, they were relaxing on a chair, watching television. I got the camera out again, started recording, and it just happened. I mean, it really is as simple as that. Probably then the more significant thing is I looked at the video and thought, I'd really like to share this with the boy's godfather. He was living in America. And getting that video to him at the time was actually really quite hard. I wasn't very proficient in decoding and file formats, sending things over email. It was a big file. So YouTube was just the ideal way of doing that. So went up onto YouTube, marked as private, friends and family saw it. It was marked as public for one point because my parents wanted to see it, and it was just too complicated for them to sign up and get an account. And literally, it just took off. It was absolutely crazy.
That is definitely an interesting thing because, as you mentioned, the technical barriers to sharing these experiences, especially when you have family that are, distributed over large spaces, or even, in more recent times with the pandemic and having so much, kind of forced separation. Being able to connect over media has been increasingly important in the lives of, the human experience really recently. So with that, and your choice to make this video public, and then it took off, and I'm curious to know, because this is something that, people are uploading videos every day. We've seen, things like, YouTube, and then newer video creation platforms all taking off and kind of getting these viral videos. But you guys were really like one of the first, the biggest, for the longest time, the most viewed video on the internet. And how, I guess, when that started, and you got it out there and people started really picking up on this and sharing it and taking off. What was your reaction there? What were the next steps, when you put out the video and you're like, well, now what?
Yeah, and again, I'll answer this because you're talking about things necessarily before the boys were necessarily conscious of these things. But you're right. I mean, it was a very early stage. We were in many ways, we were innovators from a point of view of content on YouTube. And I think we also helped change the way people started looking at YouTube. I think it was maybe aimed at the younger generation, but our video was seen by every generation you could think of. You know, I've had communication from around the world, spanning all cultures and religions and languages, and all different age groups. So it gave everybody something to look at, and as you said, it's people watch the video and they smile. But the technology was hugely important, and of course we're now moving into cryptocurrencies and NFT, and again the technology is hugely important. And again, we like to feel that we're looking at something and trying to lead the way, and working with early adopters and NFT people, because it's where things are going. It's what's happening.
And I definitely agree with you that, you know, the NFT space is kind of the next frontier for the way that people collect any sort of really assets or take the media and connect with it, which I'm really excited to see that you're able to, you know, take this innovation early on and then keep iterating on that. So, you know, that to me is really fascinating. And
I think what we're also doing is we're approaching this from maybe a different way to how other people have looked at this as well. I mean, people have approached me about NFT for quite some time, and I've looked at it and I thought, well, okay, that's exciting, but it's not as exciting as I would like it to be. I think the difference here is when we started talking to Origin, and we were thinking about actually how can we make this NFT more exciting than taking something that is and selling it as NFT. We thought, well, what else can we do? And those things, such as removing it from YouTube, then became something which we think is not just moving towards NFT, but committing towards NFT and actually creating a greater excitement from a point of view of collecting. Because we are then saying, hey, NFT is it, NFT is the future, let's look to NFT for these videos and user created content, as opposed to everywhere else.
And that is a really interesting way to go about this, because kind of the foundations of the NFT space is understanding and respecting the idea of scarcity. And so with the early days of YouTube, and even now, you know, YouTube is highly accessible. Everybody can look at it. And that is kind of one of the things with the NFT space. People are like, well, I don't know why I would buy the thing when I can go watch it on YouTube. And it sounds like you're addressing exactly that, because you won't be able to watch it on YouTube anymore. Is that correct?
That is correct. But I'll go one stage further than that as well, because there was something else that we also wanted to add into this. And while the NFT is, of course, is the most important point of this, when Harry and I and Harry and I were discussing this, we also thought, look, where else can we go from a point of view of what we're doing at NFT? And it was very important to us to say, look, the winner of the NFT, we also want to film, or let's do a remake of the video with them. I mean, we'll also make it transferable, so if they're a bit shy, they can donate to charity or something else. But the winner of this NFT will also create another video of themselves with the boys, and that they themselves can create into an NFT if they wish. So this, I think, for the winner, this is a multi-aspect, exciting prospect.
That does sound exciting. And so with this, I guess I'm a little bit curious to understand, because I know that you have a history of being innovators, and you know, Harry and Charlie have kind of unwittingly been part of this journey, but how have you over the years taken this, you know, being thrust into the spotlight, and use that as a learning experience? Because I think that for you two, you know, especially growing up with the internet so very, you know, important in your experience, I think that definitely gives you a little bit more of a different perspective than, say, those who, you know, are interacting with but not enmeshed in the internet, and the viral video culture. So what have you, I know you're like doing school and stuff, and that's definitely a thing, but do you think this has changed your approach on, I guess, problem solving and even, future direction?
So, Harry? So yeah, we've had opportunities because of this, like how we filmed the safety video for Delta Airlines. We were part of that, and we've been to America a couple of times to do morning shows and for that. So I'm not too sure we've learned too much about how everything works, but we've had experiences being part of that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely having those, I guess, experiences that are not, generally available to people your age, which is a really exciting thing, because then you can take those and use them, almost as like a leaping board to the next thing, whatever that may be.
And Charlie?
Stream? As Harry said, we've been able to do so many additional things, but at the same time we've kept quite a normal life. It's been a part of our lives since before I can remember, because I was 1 and Harry was like 3. So it's always been a part of our lives, but at the same time we've lived quite normal lives. School's always taken priority, but on top of that we've been able to do some great things. So it's been good.
And maybe just to add to that, those are good, but I mean, people obviously have seen this video and they've seen something about us, but we actually do live quite private lives. We try and keep the YouTube and our private lives separately, which I think has been a healthy thing to do. And from that point of view as well, over the years, I've had lots of conversations with lots of different people. And just going back to the idea of creating an NFT from the bidder, that person will be in a very envious position, because I've had conversations with the rich and famous, world leaders, cultural, religious leaders as well. So this is something quite unique.
That is most definitely, having that sort of trajectory and the power behind this video that you created, which, as we mentioned, was 2007. So this was like the very early days of YouTube. And I think that, Matthew maybe has a little bit of experience, the background with the YouTube in the early days. And I'd be interested to see, your insight on how this video perhaps maybe had an impact on the whole trajectory and adoption of, platforms like YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that don't know, I was actually one of the early product managers at YouTube, and was on the inside when this YouTube video was first uploaded. And the metrics on this thing were just phenomenal, right? It truly was a worldwide phenomenon where people all over the world, as Howard was mentioning, regardless of geographic location, religion, age, they all connected with this video in just such an amazing way. And it's one of the most popular videos that we shared internally while we were at YouTube. And it was really a seminal moment in my mind where YouTube became the platform of choice for user-generated videos. And I would say Charlie Bit My Finger is probably the prime example of what a user-generated viral video should be, right? Something that is just so easily shareable, touches people on an emotional level so quickly. Like you get into it, like the moment you start watching the video, and it leaves such an amazing memory on everyone that watches it, right? Like, how can you forget this video even after watching it just one time? And people will watch it over and over and over again. And so to be able to work with the family today, 14 years later, is kind of like a very full circle moment for me, where I saw this family and this beautiful accidental art that they created the first time around on YouTube. And they were early early adopters of that technology, and were able to touch the world, leave their mark, and impact people with the original video. But now, with the advent of blockchain technologies and specifically NFTs, this is a brand new opportunity for them as well, right? And once again, they're showing that they are early adopters and innovators, and they want to be, driving new social movements forward, as well as embracing new technology. And that's why I think this is super, super exciting, right? Because we have someone that has carried the torch in the Web 2.0 world, helped bring Web 2.0 to life, and really showed other creators how to become creators, and that's like started, such huge movements from that initial starting point. And now it's our hope, it's the family's hope that this is a new example, this is a new precedent that they're setting. And even in an NFT world, this is, I think, pretty unique. We've seen some other people try to sell videos as NFTs or memes as NFTs, but here we're going one step beyond that, right? We're not just saying, hey, this video is becoming an NFT. We're having a new beginning here. This video is becoming an NFT, but at the same time, the family has chosen to delete the video from YouTube and say that the NFT is the new beginning, while YouTube was the platform of yesteryear. So really, really fascinating to me personally, and I think just going to be a moment that we all remember for a long time after this event.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And I would say I think this is maybe a good time to share that video so that way we can take a peek at the oh my goodness moment that thrusts you all into the YouTube spotlight and now moving into the blockchain space. So let's go ahead and we will take a peek at that. And it is so cute. Like, I'm just prepared now. Here we go.
I think the sound makes it a little bit more better, but yeah. Look at you.
A big head.
Yeah. People always commented that your head was bigger than Harry's. But it's this little smile. That's what people.
It's the laugh there too. Oh my goodness.
Some people have credited all the emotions as more explicit than a Shakespeare play.
Those, like, there are definitely some strong emotions there, both, as a just general human experience, but also I say as a parent, like watching my children interact, and I use this as a template, and I was like, don't put your fingers in the mouth, because like there's a lot of feeling there.
There is a lot of feeling, and I'm so proud of Harry as well for reacting so fairly to Charlie.
Oh my goodness, yes. That was, I think, the optimal possible reaction given the situation. So high five to you for being such a good small child, and oh my goodness. So fun to see you all now growing up and still doing cool things on the internet. So I guess tell me, Harry and Charlie, I want to know, like, obviously we discussed you're doing school and you're focused a lot on school, which is important because, that is going to, impact the rest of your life. I think even perhaps, more formally than a lot of the things on the internet. But when you're moving through, the school system, is this something that, has this impacted any of your future directions in terms of things you're considering for, professions later on, or I don't know. I'm curious to know a little bit more about you both.
Like with the whole video, we've been able to do a lot of good stuff, great stuff, and it's definitely opened our eyes to what we can do in like the media world. But right now, I haven't set my GCSEs yet, so I have no idea what I'm going to do, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. About Harry, do you know what you're going to do?
I'm not sure. I know Charlie's been studying streaming, haven't you? I feel that's a good point to mention.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about that. Yeah, so I started streaming on Twitch, just playing games and just talking to people online. That's been pretty fun. I've used the Charlie Bit Me to help myself with that, and yeah, that's been really fun. But I'm not too sure about a career just yet. Yeah.
And that's totally understandable. So that's actually why I started streaming on Twitch years ago too, just to practice more of, you know, the conversational chatting and, you know, topical speaking. So that's really nice. You know, it's interesting that things that seem so informal can actually have, you know, extended benefits as you're moving forward. So kudos to you for that. And I'd say outside of this, like, what else do you guys like to do? Are there, you know, sports or extracurricular hobbies? Let's get a little bit more about you.
So we both like kayaking, and we go out occasionally for a few hours. That's quite fun. We also go to jiu-jitsu.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And we go out a few times a week for that. Yeah.
Very good. So as Howard had mentioned earlier, you know, you definitely have stuck to, you know, more of a typical normal life despite this, you know, YouTube sensation. So keeping those separate is very important. And I really respect you all for, you know, how well it seems that you've done that. And, you know, that is definitely a big thing, you know, making sure that you maintain a sense of normalcy throughout the experience, and then moving into the blockchain space and kind of re-leveraging that into this NFT. So let's talk about the drop a little bit more, because I think that, you know, it's a very interesting thing that we're going to be deleting the video from YouTube and turning it into an NFT. I understand, you know, especially with the foundations of blockchain and based on, you know, prioritizing scarcity, that it makes sense to do this. But, you know, for this, like you mentioned that you want to continue being an innovator and getting into the space. Is that something that, you know, you expect as we move forward, it's going to open up other opportunities, or, you know, what will be the next steps once you do delete the Charlie Bit Me video and get this turned into an NFT?
I think, I mean, from a point of view of the NFT, our focus is very much on that.
Yeah, it's the new thing that we're moving on to now after YouTube. Like we've I don't want to. Like we've finished with that. We've done YouTube, and now we're moving on to NFT. We're moving off YouTube,
and I think also the focus on the removing it as well, because we want to make sure that this NFT is valuable and keeps its value as well. So it's not just about, hey, this is a one-off sale. It's from a collector's point of view. This is something which we want them to make sure that they have a valuable asset and stays valuable, or even potentially increases in value. So that's also a reason behind the removing of YouTube, is because this is the focus. It's the NFT, the community, what they're doing, and how they're collecting. That's really the focus.
Which makes sense, because when you have a video that's uploaded on YouTube, you know, it by default provides ownership rights, you know, and you're controlling the video and the access. And so by removing it, that does, you know, essentially when you're turning it into this NFT, kind of changing those ownership rights and what can be done with the video in the future. So that's very interesting indeed. And I would say with that, you know, you mentioned that you will also, you know, for the winner of the, you know, auction, will have the ability to, or the opportunity to recreate this video. And that's exciting. And they also, as you mentioned, you know, are not obligated to do that, but I think that would be a really fun experience. So I'm going to cross my fingers that they do.
We hope so. We hope so. And as I said, you know, we'll record it, and they themselves they don't necessarily need to be an artist or a musician or a composer or anything else. They are associated with the NFT they've purchased, and they've got an associated NFT on the blockchain. I think that's a very exciting thing.
That is very exciting. And do we have details about when this is happening and kind of the process by which you're releasing the NFT?
So the NFT goes, I believe that everything kicks off tomorrow, that being Monday, and it will go on auction on the 22nd. I believe the times we're starting at 7 a.m. from a Los Angeles point of view, and 11 p.m. in Korea. So it spans a lot, and it will be on auction for 24 hours. So it will end on the 23rd. And the 23rd coincides with the 14th anniversary of the video being on YouTube.
And so that is definitely some very special time frame dating here, that we have an anniversary to celebrate and also a change in the whole structure.
Yeah, so going back to Matthew's point, this is a moment in time, like when it was first put up on YouTube and all these different things. This moment in time is significant for lots of reasons.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in that the sale itself is happening at charliebitme.com. And what we've done with the family is we've made sure that they could tell their story in the most authentic and interactive way as possible. And so this is, you see a view of the NFT sale page right now. As Howard was mentioning, it'll be a 24-hour sale. And we will be accepting cryptocurrency payments, deposits, in order for bidders to bid on this NFT sale. The four stablecoins we accept are USDT, USDC, DAI, and the Origin Dollar, or USD. And really, I think going back to this concept of the anniversary, the 14th anniversary of this video, I think this really does a fantastic job in just tying everything together, right? Because there's so much significance in this date and this 14-year journey. And this is really going to be the last time that people are going to be able to watch this video before it's deleted off YouTube forever. And so it kind of kicked off this UGC viral video phenomenon on YouTube just about 14 years ago. And 14 years later, the plan is that hopefully this can be another precedent-setting moment that kicks off new waves in the NFT world. YouTube videos are deleted from YouTube every single day, but no one has ever deleted a video with 880 million video views before. And it's even possible in this last week that this video is live on YouTube that we break 900 million views, 950 million views, maybe even 1 billion views, because everyone is going to know it's the last time that people are going to be able to watch this video on YouTube. So we're really, really excited about the lead up to this event. I think it's just like a beautiful story arc that's going to resonate a lot with not only NFT collectors and the crypto native audience, but also the mainstream audience that has seen this video over the last 14 years, right? People all over the world have assigned a certain amount of emotional connection to this video of all age groups and of all just different types of personalities and backgrounds. And so this really hopefully is going to be a global event that brings the community together in a brand new way and then launches everyone forward into this new journey with the use of NFT technology.
Yeah, and everything Matthew just said, I mean, that's why we went with Origin as well, because they understand it, they get it. This is personalized. It's on charliebitme.com. All of those reasons were fantastic reasons that this is the right time and the right platform to be doing this.
And so I'm curious, with the video, and getting this promoted here in the next couple of days as we're getting ready for this auction, before you get it deleted, are you actually going to be linking on the YouTube with a big banner that's like, oh my goodness, this is your last chance, but you can own the video?
So that's an interesting question. We're going to change the title of the video so people know, but I'm not actually able to engage with the audience on YouTube in the way that I used to be able to. So
YouTube's kid video.
Yeah, there's the limited things I can do, but we will be doing as much as we can to let people know. Yes.
Okay, and that's good to know as well. Definitely getting the word out there and finding ways to make sure that your global audiences who, have over the last 14 years, still come back to this video and connect with it. They're definitely going to have an interest in finding a way to maintain that access. So
Yeah,
I do think this is going to be interesting.
Everybody, I think, will still be able to, in their own way. I mean, the video they'll remember anyway. I say some people have done various things over the years, but I'm not afraid that people will suddenly lose contact with the video. It's just the way we're presenting it, and we're focusing on the NFT. That's the most important.
Yeah.
It is, and then you'll be able to bring more people into the blockchain space. So that's really exciting too.
Exactly.
I love that. So I know that I've had you guys here for a while, and I'm curious to know, is there anything that I haven't asked you or that we haven't discussed yet that you'd like to share with the audience and the whale community as we move forward and closer to this release?
You guys?
I don't know. You mentioned that it will bring more people towards NFT, and that's definitely something that we've looked at, because we believe in NFT. That's why we're trying to get into this now. It's still quite early, and I feel like, especially with how much we're planning on promoting this, we've got interviews with a lot of mainstream media, and I feel like this could be really good for the NFT market as well.
Great point. And we sort of touched on this in various things, but hopefully we will bring a lot of publicity to the NFT market, and support and understand. You guys have been there from the beginning. You're working on this. It's a big thing. Hopefully we'll bring something to that party. Charlie? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think I agree with Harry. We're just promoting the NFT. We're surely quite, the tight-knit community, but we're helping promote, I guess, as we're kind of early in.
It's definitely, I'm really excited to see you all joining the space here, and would like to welcome you to it, because this is something that, as I mentioned, like over the last 14 years, I don't know how many of those 880 million views are mine, but it's probably at least in the triple digits. Just saying. So, that has really been, the impact that you've made on countless people's, lives and experiences is huge. And having the ability to bring joy to people is immeasurable. So it's exciting to be able to bring that now to the blockchain as well.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you all. So with that, I really appreciate Howard and Harry and Charlie, as well as Matthew, joining us today to share the details about your upcoming NFT release, which, as we mentioned, will be at charliebitme.com. And that will start the week of May 17th. And there's, this open timeframe auction window that people will have the opportunity to claim the Charlie Bit My Finger video as their own and have a piece of that very early viral YouTube history. So, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be able to be a part of this video. And I think that people are going to be really excited about that. I appreciate you all being here and talking to the whale community. And we definitely look forward to keeping in touch as we're, keeping an eye on how this progresses and, everything shakes out and the auction goes. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we're on the community. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, chat, please feel free to do so.
Fantastic. And we'll get you in our events and more in the blockchain space for sure. It will be a good time. So with that, we will close the interview for the day, but we will definitely be following up in the future as we see where you continue to lead us as innovators in both the, content creation space and now even in the blockchain space. This will be good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
And
all.
we definitely appreciate the Well FM community. You guys are such a great community that's really pushing forward NFTs, and we're thrilled to be able to partake here.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.